Hello, this is a video for Anthony Riley, and I hope that some other people will watch it and will try to contact Anthony and let him know that this video exists. The reason I'm making this video is because Anthony seems to have decided, which of course is his right, to completely block me from commenting on any of his videos and to refuse to engage with me in any way. Now, of course, Anthony is perfectly entitled to do this, but I feel that he's being um, rather disingenuous if he's claiming to be a truth seeker and he is blocking people simply because he doesn't want to discuss his thoughts and his ideas about the flat earth with them. It seems that I'm not the first person that this has happened to. That anybody who Anthony feels has a good capacity for arguing and presenting a case, he ends up blocking or avoiding contact with. Now, that may be completely untrue, and there may be some other reason. And if that's the case, then hopefully Anthony will get to hear about this and will get in touch, will comment on this video, and we can discuss exactly what's going on. The blocking of my communication with Anthony followed fairly shortly after a hangout that he had with Mick West, but not immediately after that hangout. Now, during that hangout, Anthony was telling a blatant lie to Mick. Now, I don't want to go into all the details, but he was claiming that a photograph that was actually taken from at least 40 or 50 feet above sea level, and possibly even a bit higher, was actually taken from 3 feet above sea level. And they were discussing the curve calculator and predictions of what should be hidden and what should be seen from the location that the photograph was taken. And clearly this lie about the height at which the photograph was taken was throwing Mick because it seemed that it was doing something they're showing something that was completely impossible, when in fact that photograph has been proved to reflect almost exactly what should be seen from the location it was taken. Now, I'd contacted Anthony on Skype whilst this was going on and asked him why he was lying to Mick, and he told me to go away, but he used rather more F's than that, and I ended up leaving the chat for the hangout because I had something else to do, and only saw the full hangout a bit later on. And clearly this photograph did throw Mick, and he wasn't able to explain to Anthony what was going on in the photograph, but of course he was being given completely incorrect information about it. Now, since that time, Anthony made another video about some photographs of some mountains and hills in Utah in the United States, made by another flat earther. And Anthony produced a video claiming that these photographs showed that what you see on Google Earth does not reflect what you see in reality. And because Google Earth is modeled on the sphere of the Earth and the correct dimensions of that sphere, according to the globe Earth model, then if what we see in reality does not match what we see on Google Earth, then clearly Google Earth and the globe model are completely wrong. Now, I took this video and I analyzed carefully the pictures shown and the Google Earth images that you can obtain, and I showed that in fact what Google Earth shows is exactly the same as what is taken in the photograph, and therefore Google Earth does mirror reality completely. And because Google Earth is modeled on the correct shape of the Earth and size of the Earth, and if it matches what the photographs show, then clearly that's very good evidence that the Earth is indeed a sphere or a globe. Anthony, I got in touch with Anthony and pointed that video out to him by Skype and by comment on some of his videos. And since that time, all my comments on Anthony's videos have been blocked. They do not appear. And somebody alerted me to this fact because they'd looked at the comments and had noticed that they were not visible. And I checked. I made a sock account, and I checked, and indeed, when I look under using the sock account, I could not see the comments that I had made and that were visible under my normal account. So I contacted Anthony via that sock account, and I accused him of blocking people or deleting comments or whatever from his videos, and he responded and said that he didn't, and he said if it could only happen if people were comments ended up in spam because they were reported for being trolls or some similar kind of excuse. And I thought, well, okay, that's fine. I'll just use my sock account to communicate with him. And I told him using the sock account about the video that I'd made, and I challenged him about one or two of the other things that were going on at the time. And I didn't get any response. So I asked a friend if I could have the logon details for their account, and they said they didn't have an account on YouTube, which fair enough. I assumed that they would have, and it turns out that they didn't. But they agreed to make a YouTube account and create a YouTube account and give me the details for logging into it, which I did. And I looked again and saw that the comments from my sock account were not visible. And so I thought, well, what's going on here? Why is Anthony, it was my first account not visible, then the stock account not visible. So again, I challenged Anthony using the new account. I challenged him about systematically or deliberately hiding people's comments and not engaging with people's comments. And he engaged, he didn't engage with those comments, but he did engage with some other comments that I made, and he responded to me and I responded to him, and everything seemed fine. And then I stopped getting responses to comments, and I thought, well, okay, that's fair enough. And I spoke to my friend, and they said, well, look, I've got another email address, set up an account on that other email address that I don't use. So I set up this other SOC account, if you like, and had a look, and lo and behold, the comments were not visible from the previous SOC account. Now, this means, again, I challenged Anthony and about this using what was now the third or fourth account, I think, and got no reply. And then I've checked using my original account, and the comments I've made from the fourth account have been blocked. So Anthony seems to be systematically blocking or preventing comments on his videos that he doesn't like. Now, whether it's probably fairly obvious that there's a SOC account being created and is challenging him. But the only reason there's a SOC account being created and challenging you, Anthony, is because you've taken some action to block the original one. And why take then subsequent action to block a SOC account? You claim to be a truth seeker. You claim to want to find out about the world, the universe that we live in, and identify whether the world is in fact flat or not. Um, if you want to do that, surely you want to do that in an honest and an open and fair way. You want to consider the evidence that actually exists. And if people are uh, challenging you in a fair and respectful way, then there's no reason why you should want to block those comments. You may choose not to respond to them, but why would you want those comments to not appear on your website? And why would you not respond to the video that I made about Google Earth and the hills and mountains in Utah? The only reason that I can imagine for you not wanting to comment is that you find the challenges that I'm making somewhat threatening and somewhat too correct or too precise for you to be able to criticize. Perhaps you just decided you don't like me and want to have anything to do with anything that I produce. Whatever the reason, wouldn't it be more honest to actually say so, to actually come out up front and say, look, Miles, we've had our discussions, we've had our little run-ins, and I don't want to engage with you anymore. At least that would be an honest approach, and people could then draw their own conclusions about that. I feel that what you are in fact doing is just trying to protect yourself and your ideas from someone who can challenge them in a clear and correct kind of way, rather than a few of the other people whose comments you allow on, who you quite wrongly think that you are able to win, in inverted commas, discussions with them. But anyway, whatever your reason, why don't you man up and actually say what those reasons are? So hopefully someone will pass this video on to you. I will make an effort to pass this video link on to you, and let's see what kind of response you're prepared to make. So just as a quick follow-up to the comments I made earlier, the first part of this video, I'd just like to show you this, which is a screen capture of the Skype that occurred during his conversation with Mick West, just in case this is what Anthony thinks is the problem. So at one point, I tried to actually call Anthony on Skype first, and the call failed. Anthony didn't respond. So I then sent a message on Skype saying, Anthony, you're lying to Mick. You didn't see the whole tower. So this was another claim that Anthony made, is the whole tower was visible. It wasn't the whole tower. It was only part of the tower that was visible. And you haven't explained the tide situation, etc. As I said, it was low tide. And Anthony didn't respond to that. So I then sent another message saying, Anthony, please be honest with Mick. And then I said, because of something he'd said, I said, stop lying to Mick then. And then please stop lying to Mick. And then on a subsequent time, when I think Anthony said, you know, Miles is just being a dick, or something, words to that effect, and trying to ruin everything. And I think it was after Mick had left the Hangout. I responded to say, and I'd look back at it later, I responded to say I wasn't trying to ruin anything. I was trying to get you to be honest. And then another one saying, you lied about the Blackpool photos, because he did lie about the Blackpool photos. Now, yes, I'm calling him out as a liar here, but this is done in private on a Skype call, and you know, why on earth should should Anthony, you know, not respond to this and say, oh, you know, agree that the height the photograph was taken was different, or you know, just be openly honest with Mick, or tell me no, you're wrong, and the photo was taken from 3 feet and it wasn't at low tide. Okay, but he didn't respond to that. I don't think I've been unnecessarily rude here. I've simply tried to explain to Anthony what he's done. The top here, this is a previous conversation where I've just responded with the word wrong, because in my opinion, everything that he said in the previous comment was in fact wrong. But you know, we can talk about that another time. But here, I mean, this is, as you can see, is almost certainly 3 weeks earlier. Okay, so I haven't been particularly rude here, other than saying that you're lying and please stop doing it. And so finally, I'd just like to show a couple of screen captures so that you can see that the comments are indeed being removed for some reason or another. Here are my couple of comments I made on the video from the mountains and hills in Utah, saying one comment simply saying my response to this video and giving the link to my YouTube video. So nothing abusive, simply pointing Anthony towards a response video that I told him in a previous conversation or previous comment that I was going to make a response video, and he knew full well that this video was coming. And then finally, a little bit later, I said, Anthony, you seem to be ignoring my response video. Why is that? I know you seem to have a boner for Mick West at the moment. And that meant that was referring to the fact that he was putting out videos constantly and hangouts and so on about the atmospheric refraction. So I said, but it would seem to me that the real shape of the Earth would be more important to a truth seeker like yourself than just trying to score petty points in a discussion about refraction. Because my opinion in the of the conversations he was having with Mick West were that it was getting extremely petty. You said this, I said that kind of discussion, more suitable for the school playground than for a conversation between adults on YouTube or anywhere else for that matter. You know, you can see here on the right an example of Mick West is a lying fraud. And Mick West, mega flump, is a lying and dishonest authority. It's that's the level that it degenerated to. My video here actually concentrates on some real evidence and points to the Earth being a globe. So here is what I see when I'm using my account, my Miles Davis account, and I can see the comments that I've posted. But here is a screen capture just of the same comments section taken at the same day at the same time, and as you can see, the other comments are there and none are visible. This is a newest first being presented, and if we go back, it was again newest first being presented, although I don't think you can actually see that. Yes, no, you can't. Scroll back again, but it was again newest first being presented. Check it out. Go to Anthony's video on the hills and mountains of Utah and have a look. Can you see my comments? And if you can't, then that confirms that Anthony has for some reason managed to remove or block them. And so finally, just to confirm that my comments are in fact being removed from Anthony's site, here is the comments that I left on his video about the hills and mountains of Utah. First of all, I told him that this was my response video. He already knew I was making a response video. I'd had another comments chat with him I can't remember if it was on this site or earlier, telling him that I was making one. And so then posted this comment. And a little bit later, I said, Anthony, you seem to be ignoring my response video. Why is that? And then I said, I know you seem to have a boner for Mick West at the moment. Um, uh, he was very busily engaged with discussions with Mick West about the Metabunk website and atmospheric refraction at the time. And he really seemed to be going after Mick quite a serious way. And he said, I said, but it would seem to me that the real shape of the Earth would be more important to a truth seeker like yourself than just trying to score petty points in a discussion about refraction. And I've had no response. And this is a screenshot of that comment section with the newest comments first placed here, and nobody has commented since I put this up. You can see the next comment is from David B 55001 with a reply from Jonathan Joman and Shnaz Shin comment below. And if we look at what I see when I log in with a different account, I see the David B 5501 comment. I see the response from Jonathan Joman. I see Shanaz Shin's comment. Again, this is newest first, but I do not see my comments. And you can go there and check yourself, are my comments present or not? So Anthony, why are you blocking comments and why won't you respond to my video?